All right, let's talk about something huge, your mortgage. Today, we are diving into a powerful financial system that can help you pay off a 30-year mortgage in a fraction of the time. And yeah, I'm talking as little as 7 years. So let's get right into it. So you're probably asking yourself, is this for real? Can a normal person, without a winning lottery ticket or a surprise inheritance, actually pull this off? Well, the answer is yes, absolutely. But it takes a system, and it means you have to think about your biggest debt in a whole new way. First, let's just wrap our heads around what's at stake. If you buy a pretty typical house for, say, $437,000 on a 30-year mortgage, the total you end up paying the bank is just staggering. We're talking over $925,000. That's more than double what the house was even worth. Okay, so to get you to that finish line way faster, we've got a clear 5-part game plan. First, we're going to expose the real cost of a mortgage. Then, we'll walk through 3 amazing strategies: a simple trick, an accelerator, and even a secret weapon. And finally, we'll map out your personal path to freedom. So, let's kick things off with part 1, the real cost. You have to understand that the entire mortgage system from the ground up is designed to make the bank money, not to help you. And figuring out how they do that is the very first step to beating them at their own game. Just look at this. On a $350,000 loan, you end up paying almost $490,000 in interest alone. That's just wild. It means you are paying way more for the privilege of borrowing the money than you are for the actual house. That, my friends, is the bank's profit. So how do they pull this off? Well, it all comes down to a sneaky little thing called front-loaded interest. The loan is set up so the bank gets almost all of its profit, that sweet, sweet interest in the first several years of your loan. And here's what that looks like in practice. Check this out. In your very first year of making payments, a massive 87% of your money goes straight into the bank's pocket. Only a tiny little 13% is actually paying down your loan and building your own wealth. It's crazy. And it stays lopsided like that for a shockingly long time. We're talking over 2 decades, 21 years, before you finally hit the tipping point where more than half of your monthly payment is actually working for you. This right here is exactly why paying extra early on is so unbelievably powerful. Okay, so that's the problem. How do we start fighting back? Let's get to our very first strategy. We'll call this the baseline. It is a super simple but incredibly effective trick that literally anyone can start doing right now. The whole goal here is to make 13 monthly payments a year instead of the usual 12. There are 2 easy ways to do it. First, you can pay half your mortgage every 2 weeks. You do that and you'll naturally make 13 full payments a year. Or, if that's too complicated, just take your monthly payment, divide it by 12, and add that little extra bit to every single payment you make. Easy. And the result of this one tiny little change? It's huge. You'll pay off your mortgage 5 years sooner. And in the example we've been using, you'd save over $90,000 in interest payments. I mean, come on, that is a massive win for such a small change. Now, listen up, because this part is absolutely critical. When you send in that extra money, you have to tell your bank, in writing, to apply it directly to the loan's principal. If you don't, some banks will just hold it and apply it to your next bill, which does nothing to save you interest. Don't let them do that. All right, ready to kick things into high gear? Our second strategy is the accelerator. This is for all of you out there who are dead serious about being mortgage-free in that 4 to 7 year window. The concept couldn't be simpler. Find every spare dollar you can and throw it at the mortgage principal. And the power of this is just staggering. Look at this. Find an extra $200 a month, boom, you shave 6 years off the loan and save over $100,000. If you can manage $500 extra, boom, you save 12 years and $200,000. And if you get really intense, maybe with a side hustle, and throw an extra $2,500 a month at it, you pay off the loan 23 years early and save an incredible $375,000 in interest. That's life-changing money. And now for our third and final strategy. This is a tool not a lot of people know about, but it's so powerful. We're going to call it the secret weapon, mortgage recasting. This is an amazing move to make after you've paid down a big lump sum. So what the heck is it? Well, after you make a big payment on your principal, let's say you get a $10,000 bonus from work and put it all on the mortgage, you can ask your lender to recast the loan. They basically just rerun the numbers on your new lower balance and calculate a new lower monthly payment for you. And the best part? Your interest rate and the end date of your loan stay the same. Now, it's really important to know this is not refinancing. Recasting is way simpler. It's not a new loan. You keep your original interest rate, which is awesome, especially if rates have gone up, and the fees are tiny, usually just a couple $100 instead of the thousands you'd pay to refinance. But here's the real 4D chess move. Your bank recasts the loan and tells you your new lower payment is, say, $2,000 a month. But you just ignore them. You keep paying your old higher amount. Maybe it was $2,300. Now, that extra $300 automatically goes straight to the principal every single month. You've basically put your mortgage payoff on autopilot into hyperdrive. Okay, we have covered a ton of ground here. So let's bring it all home and lay out your path to becoming totally, completely mortgage-free. It's all about picking the strategy that feels right for you and your goals. So, to recap, it all comes down to these 3 keys to mortgage freedom. Number 1 is the baseline, making 13 payments a year. Everyone can and should do this. To go faster, use the accelerator. Aggressively apply any extra money you find to the principal. And to really supercharge your progress after a windfall, you use the secret weapon, mortgage recasting. And all of that leaves us with one final thought. The bank's plan for you is 30 years long and costs you a fortune. But now, you have a new map, a new plan. So the only question left is, which of these strategies are you going to use to reclaim your biggest expense and win your financial freedom years or maybe even decades sooner?